10,
9,
8,
7,
6,
5,
4,
3,
2, 1.
Hey, Skywalkers! How is everyone doing? Oh, we already have, let's see, Caitlin is already wishing us a happy Monday. Happy Memorial Day, everybody.
And a happy Julie birthday eve.
Ooh, that's right.
And Julie
Yeah.
and James will be coming up very shortly, as will Kelly Turkel.
Yeah.
And there is Glenn Stein in the comments. And
Hey, Glenn.
Courtney.
Hey, Bryn.
Because we're going to be talking all about Lilo and Stitch.
Yes, we are. And we are so excited to have on other people who've seen it so they can help flesh out our opinions. Awesome. Okay, so should we begin?
Sure.
Oh, where's our notes? Okay, hold on.
All right. So before we do that, we can tell everyone, like we said last weekend, that this week there'll be no Skywalking Through Neverland episode because we are spending a lot of time on trivia stuff because there might be a trivia panel coming up very soon.
Mm-hmm.
Might be July.
It
might be another time, but let's just say that we have it on good faith that we might be doing a really big trivia event in the end of July. So this week we're going to be focusing on doing new trivia and presenting trivia in a whole unique way.
Yes, because we're always trying to looking to improve.
Yes,
right?
yes. Yeah. And I've been obsessed with it. We're trying to find new things and new ways. And today, after our Lilo and Stitch section review, breakdown, commentary, we'll do a couple of trivia panel trivia categories.
Yeah, so get ready for that, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, so without further ado, though, I think we should start up our show. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, I thought we already did, but we didn't because we didn't say welcome to
things we want to share.
We want to share.
Things we want to share. Things we want to share.
So
were you trying to do my cue? I do the music.
Okay, but
I do.
I wanted to hear it because I wanted to get to this right away. So last Monday, we had seen Lilo and Stitch, and we walked in with high hopes.
Mm-hmm.
And the film itself, what was it 1999, the animated version?
Right. Oh, was it 99?
2002.
Okay.
That
sounds more.
Says Kelly
correct.
backstage. I knew it was a Star Wars prequel year. So 2002. And I like the character of Stitch more than anything else because I've had dogs like this who just rampage through the house and wreck and destroy everything.
This is why I don't have dogs.
Yeah, exactly. But I never liked the fact that this little girl just abused her way out of in and out of situations and things didn't go right. She just would start hitting people and she was a violent character and I just couldn't relate with that.
Okay.
But now seeing this movie here, it's like, okay, I understand, but I think they could have gone in a whole different direction. I'm surprised they didn't go in a different direction.
Okay. Well, should we invite on people or are we sharing our thoughts first? What's going on?
I think we already started sharing our thoughts.
Okay.
We barreled right into it. Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right. So in the original Lilo and Stitch, we now are finding out was 2002. Lilo was just this little maniacal character. And I thought, okay, this time around, she's not going to be so violent. They'll tone her anger down. No, she didn't. They didn't. And I understand seeing this version where in that beginning she's in the school play, some kind of a play, and these other little witchy girls, I can think of another name for them, but these other little witches, they start shoving her around. This little Lilo girl, I'm not sure why, because she's different in some way. I don't know. And then Lilo says, "Okay, I'm going to handle it my way," and turns around and socks this little girl. It's like, well, okay, I understand that, but I'm shocked that they went this way because, just putting your hands on someone else and any kind of abuse is going to be triggering. And so I didn't think they were going to go this way, but they did. So I found it very hard to like Lilo
Okay.
in the beginning, because wherever she went, she was this little Tasmanian devil.
Mhm.
Even though it was meant saving, I know she's only supposed to be 6 years old, and here she is being brought to different interviews by her sister, and she does nothing but wreak havoc. Like, well, don't you understand what's going on, little Lilo? We're trying to save the family, but you do nothing but wreak havoc. And then comes this. If that wasn't enough, here comes Stitch, and who causes way more property damage than anything I've ever seen in any other film, even Marvel. And it got to be a little too much for me.
Okay. Yeah, so I went into this film with an open mind. I had only seen the original Lilo and Stitch once at the El Capitan, and afterwards there was a fun party at the stage next door, which is now I think the Jimmy Kimmel stage. But they had a really fun party. But I remember not being totally in love with the movie. I know everyone loves Stitch. Like, Stitch is like this huge character, and I've just never been a fan of Stitch because, once again, he just causes chaos wherever he goes. And for me, this film, I went in with an open mind. I was like, okay, well, it's not animated anymore, and I didn't really like the animated style, so maybe I can leave that prejudice behind and see what they do with the live action. And for me, it didn't hit for me either, because, again, you mentioned the Tasmanian devil thing. And yes, that was just a big deal for me. Once property damage gets involved in things, I lose all sense of I can't
Of empathy for the character.
Yeah, I just can't put that aside, because we've had property damage and it's such a pain, and it just brings the real world crashing in, and I just can't pay attention, focus on the movie anymore.
I think our final thought for after we saw it, like,
Yes.
Okay, kids 6 and under gonna love this movie.
Yes, and I could see how they would love it. To me, there was a lot of problems and a lot of hand wavy things, and it seemed like it was edited to death as well, like just chopped up. Yes, but people are saying, okay, they're weighing in, and we're gonna have you guys come on up. So Caitlin is saying she was traumatized from the loss of her parents. So that's Lilo's excuse.
Yes, you know what? And that's what I was trying to rectify this by going, she's had the loss of her parents, but they only brought that up like twice, and Lilo never said, I'm this way because I lost parents, or no one surmised that. She would hold up a picture of their parents, and that was enough. And those were insert shots, so apparently that was an afterthought. Okay, we need a reason for her to be so rambunctious, but just having an insert shot of the parents wasn't enough. They never really got into that. There was the whole family thing, but Lilo, it was never just boiled down to Lilo was this way because of this. You had to connect the dots, which wasn't really enough.
Okay. Well, should we let our other friends on?
But before that, this is even more shocking than anything else. Now, apparently, this movie made a lot of money.
Yeah, Memorial Day weekend.
Way too much money.
People are ready to go back to the theater. Well, they've been back, but
yeah. So far, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it's made a staggering $14.05. No, I'm sorry, $145 million, 0.5. I just can't wrap my head around it making that much. I think maybe another
family pleaser.
2 weeks, we're gonna find out that these numbers were cooked.
Well, now, okay, I think we have people coming on that are gonna like the film.
Please, because I'm having a very hard time with this.
Okay. Well, okay, another fun fact is Lilo and Stitch earned more in 4 days than Snow White did during its entire box office run. And I enjoyed Snow White more, but we'll get into it. Okay.
So hold on. We can see everyone backstage. Yes. So raise your hand if you enjoyed Snow White more than this movie.
Well, okay.
So far, we're the only ones.
Yeah, we're the only ones. Okay, we're weird.
All right. Let's go ahead and bring on Julie and James, the Gildersleeveses.
Okay. Awesome. Hey.
Hey. So we loved the movie.
Okay. So explain why, please.
Nope. Okay. Next, we're gonna go
to. We're back, and that's the end of our friendship.
I know it's your birthday eve, but that's the only time you get away with that.
Well, I went in as a fan of the original. So when the original movie came out in 2002, it was a really challenging year for me. I was considering some life changes and looking at what it would be like to be a young single mother. So I connected a lot with this movie. And it was the first movie that I ever walked out of, went immediately bought a second ticket and watched it again.
Oh,
So
wow.
I really liked the original animated one. So I came in with a very different perspective. And I think that probably helped. And I felt that this movie, Richard, some of the stuff that you said that you were having a hard time connecting plot lines were very, very true to the original story. So I think it was very clear that parents were had passed away. Nani's only like 19, and the parents have been gone for like a year or less, and they're processing and just trying to figure out how to live and how to be a family and do adult things and take care of a small child that's grieving and doesn't know how to be a mom. And for me, I was going through a lot of the same kind of stuff. So I really connected with it. And I think Stitch is adorable.
Aw.
Even
I get all that. I just don't think they leaned into it as much as they should have to connect. I think you had to connect, because we talked to other people afterwards. They said, yeah, this the same thing. They didn't really connect the dots between her losing her parents and her being so rambunctious, which they could have leaned into a little bit more to make that more clear. And you got to kind of assume that going in.
Well, and maybe from it was easy for me to see that because I knew that was the original story. So maybe it just connected naturally because I already knew that. But for me, I thought it was very the behavior piece is very common in grief. There was another story that I absolutely hated because of this grief kind of movie feeling and angst and anger and destruction. And that was a Harry Potter story. And it wasn't until I went through some personal grief that I was able to look back and completely see it a different way. And for this movie, I felt like it was just well told. So I liked it.
I agree with you, but I just think they could have leaned into it a little bit more and make it a little bit more.
You wanted more grief. That's what I'm getting from this.
There were parts where the sisters connected, and I thought they did a good job.
Oh, they did a great job with that. It was very, very heartfelt when it came to that and being family. But this her being so, you can only be so rambunctious so much before it's like, okay, enough of this. You see what your sister's going through, even being 6 years old. I think she had grown a lot since her loss of her parents.
I think a 6-year-old is not going to be able to make that connection. So I don't think it's realistic that a 6-year-old would look at her 19-year-old sister who's trying to make things work and say, I need to be good. I don't think that's realistic.
A couple of times she's even said, I know I've been bad and I can be better. So she knows of her behavior. It's not like Dennis the Menace who causes problems and says, what happened?
Right. Yeah, token fanboy bringing up a point. Nani is having trouble coping too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. So, James, what are your overall thoughts on the film?
Well, I didn't have the same backstory that Julie had, but just taking the movie on face value, I did enjoy it. Stitch was created to be a weapon, essentially. So destruction is kind of in his nature. And, Lilo, who sees that in him, is trying to control him, but she's not capable of doing it. So, like all those job interviews, yeah, she knows Nani is trying to get these jobs and it's important, but she couldn't control it just because she didn't know how.
That's kind of a parallel between Nani and Lilo too. Like Nani doesn't know how to control Lilo. Lilo doesn't know how to control Stitch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and yet everyone thinks Stitch is a dog.
Yeah, that's another issue right there. How
came from the
stupid
cartoon
are these
too.
people in this world to go, this thing that looks nothing like a dog, maybe that it's furry and it can speak English and it's got these big jagged teeth and big giant hoojib ears and is blue. These people think it's a dog. At that point, it's like, I'm losing respect for all of you people here.
Well, it's a kids movie.
I know you gotta go, okay, I'm gonna look past that. But
he's not a dog though, right? He's an alien.
Someone saying that, it's like, okay, you people really need to to observe. You guys have no situational awareness.
Yeah. All right. Well, should we bring on Kelly now, who's backstage here,
Yeah.
wanting to share her thoughts, and then we will bring on Courtney after that. Welcome, Kelly.
Hey, Kelly.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
So what's
Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, well, I'm a big lover of Stitch. Stitch is one of my favorite characters, and I enjoyed this movie as well. I enjoyed a lot of the updates to the storyline as well, because I think it's a more realistic view of how uh, the family would be going through grief together. I mean, like, Stitch is one of my favorite characters, but Lilo and Stitch is not my favorite movie, and I wouldn't say Lilo is. I have a few issues with Lilo in the animated version as well. Like Richard, like, she's a little aggressive and a little rambunctious and a little mean. However, like Julie, I do understand that she's a 6-year-old girl trying to cope with something that she has no idea how to cope with, and she knows that it's bad because people are telling her she's bad. She doesn't know it's bad because she knows it's bad. Because you can see it in the movie that she overhears people saying, the bad behavior and this is bad, and she can't handle herself. She's doing all these bad things, but then she's like, am I bad? And and she tries to do the same thing to Stitch and tell him that he's not bad because she doesn't like being told that she's bad. And she bonds with Stitch because everybody says that Stitch is bad, and she sees the good in Stitch. So they both see the good in each other, and they both need that at the same time, because everybody around her is telling her that she's bad and that she's doing bad things. But nobody's telling her how to fix it either.
Mm.
Yeah, but those couple of times, you're right. But I think there was a couple of times when she said, "Oh, I know this was bad," and she's admitted to this, so she knows between right and wrong. She doesn't do bad things.
She may know what between right and wrong, but her feelings and she's bottled up her feelings and her grief, and she doesn't know how to express them. And she hasn't been told or taught how to express those feelings, so they're bottled up. And so they come out in certain ways, and she's just trying to help. She thinks she's helping. She thinks that she's doing something to help these people, but she just, it comes out in the wrong way, and it comes out in an energy that is wrong.
Yeah, I never got the fact that she was trying to help. Those characters are trying to help, but things just go wrong in the very end. But they're trying so hard to help, kind of like Dedramiro tries so hard to help, but in the end, it just backfires.
Cyril.
I never got that from her.
So there's one scene where she's doing that, right? So she's at one of the interviews, and she's teaching Stitch. She's trying to teach Stitch to be good. And so they're stacking dishes and things, and then everything just gets shattered, right? She's not trying to do something bad. She's trying to do something good. It just wasn't a good idea. And so it went really, really wrong.
And she's 6 years old.
She's not trying to be destructive. She's 6.
Having worked with 6-year-olds the last 30 years, I've seen that. Maybe this is where I really aggravated with her. If kids are put in this position, I've always seen them just being very clammed up. Sometimes I find the kids who overreact, are destructive, is they got parents who say, "Oh, you know what? Do whatever you want. I want you to express yourself. If you want to damage something, go ahead." And if it had been like that, it's like, okay, now I understand Lilo. But the fact that she was just so destructive, I didn't get the fact that she was trying to help. Maybe because I was distracted by the fact that, why is Nani bringing her along to this very important job interview? I know there's a babysitter situation. I know that, but do something, because right now you need a job. So get anyone else, get the woman next door or something.
Well, right, but Nani's only like 19, so she's not at a mature enough age to realize that she shouldn't be taking her 6-year-old to a job interview when she really needs that job.
Right, but what happens
It
3 or
just
4
is both
times in a
immature.
row.
It's immaturity going both ways.
And
Yeah.
she didn't grow up for 6 years as the mom. So she went from being sister to mom. And so she didn't have 6 years to grow into making better parent choices. She is like, now immediately you're now have
Dressed in.
And I get
yeah.
that, but I think this is retconning what it actually is. They wanted some fun situations in this movie where Lilo was going to be destructive and little kids could laugh. That's what it comes down to. So for me, I just thought it was.
I think that may have been in the animated versions. Like little figling there, they were like, "Oh, let's have them destroy everything." But I think in the live action, they tried to make it seem like there was a reason why all of this was happening. Like they fed more into the grief aspect and the Nani trying to control Lilo and not being able to and having a really hard time coming into the mom factor of Lilo and the dynamic between the two.
Right.
Well, I was having a hard time just grieving through this whole sequence of trying to figure out the babysitter situation. But let's see what Courtney's got to say.
Yes, let's have Courtney come on up. We
Courtney,
really want
what
to
do you
share.
say?
Courtney, welcome.
Hi. Hello. I liked the movie. I actually sat there and bawled through the movie. It made me cry, especially the ending of the movie. I will say that I had seen the original movie. It's not on my top 10, but Stitch has been very cute. He is one of the top tier characters now, especially as sidekicks and stuff. Everybody loves him. He's very popular in the Asian market. So that is why this movie is making all of the money. He is very popular worldwide. I understood from the get-go, even if I hadn't seen the original, that they were having trouble coping with the loss of their parents. Lilo still speaks of them in the present tense, like they're gone and they're going to be back. And that's when Nani, as the other person you brought up, the ticker for, said we were left behind. Like she's having a hard time with the fact that her parents are dead. I would have liked for them to go more into the reason why the parents died, but understood that they were focusing on the bond and the problems between the two sisters.
It's a Disney movie.
Yeah, that's why they
But
died.
still, all the parents die in Disney movies. We all know that. But I would have liked for them, since they were going so deep into the emotions between the emotional aspect of this movie, I would have liked to see even like a flashback or just more backstory about like how they actually died. I liked the introduction of Tutu, the neighbor lady. I felt that gave it more, a sense of, the community is helping them cope with this. They know that Nani is only 19 and that she was supposed to go away to college and, instead has to take care of her 6-year-old sister. So Tutu does step in and help take care of Lilo when she can, but it is ultimately Nani's responsibility. And I think that's what Nani was supposed, like maybe in the back of her head, maybe she was, thinking, I'll show that I can, get this interview and get the job with Lilo sitting at the table and show him that I can do both. And she's like trying to rely on herself, even though she probably should have had the neighbor lady watch Lilo, at that point. But I just hit a chord at the end, there with the sisters, maybe get separated and, there was that instance of, you know, and that derived from the original film. They were never going to separate them, so it just that made me cry. It made me cry. It hit some chords there.
Okay.
As the older sister, you know, I kind of related to Nani a lot.
Oh. Okay, well, I have a question for you guys because we had the two characters, Jumba and Pleakley, and they were played now in this instance by Zach Galifianakis and Billy Magnuson, who's totally getting typecast as like the one-off Disney characters. He was in the Aladdin. He was like the prince that came to meet Jasmine before Prince Ali. He was also in Into the Woods as the other prince. So this poor guy, he's getting typecast as like this character that has no character growth, but he's a funny character. Like I liked seeing him in there. What did you guys think of Jumba and Pleakley?
I thought they were great. I did not have on my bingo card Zach Galifianakis playing Jumba, but I think that he had I think he did it very well. I do know that there was a lot of just rumblings across the internet about Pleakley not being dressed in drag and, you know, them being turned into humans for the duration of the movie when they were on Earth. But I think it was genius. I thought that in order to make this grounded in live action, that showing a CGI character alien dressed in drag, you are not going to believe that he's just going to fit in like if he was in an animated world and the, you know, drawn character alien was dressed in drag. And it's funny that everybody just assumes that this is a human. You know what I mean? But I thought it was genius to have a gadget turn them human.
Yeah, their eyes would be the dead giveaway, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, they all have different
why am I
numbers
staring at a one-eyed woman? Like it doesn't work, you know?
Yeah. I actually liked Pleakley and Jumba. I liked them in the original. They were kind of like the comedic, the comedic villains that have everything go wrong for them, but they're not like actually mean or bad villains. They're just trying to get Stitch back because, you know, he escaped and they're just trying to find him. So like it wasn't like, it was like bumbling villains. It wasn't like evil villains.
Right.
But the and their dynamic together, Zach Galifianakis and Billy, was hilarious. And I actually loved the fact that when Pleakley was dressing in what he was dressing in, it seemed like he got a suitcase full of these random high-end clothes that somebody just got off the runway of a fashion model or something like that, and he just put random pieces together. So I actually thought it was super funny what he was wearing, no matter if it was drag or not drag or anything. Like it wasn't exactly what like a typical stereotypical man would wear. It was very like flamboyant or ruffly or different colors, or it didn't really go together, and it just seemed like someone fell from the sky and decided to put on whatever they wanted and didn't even know how to dress themselves. So it seemed really realistic to me.
Okay.
I really liked Pleakley and Jumba. I thought they were very true to their characters from their original. I didn't have any problems with them being human on Earth. I thought, as Kelly said, I thought the clothing aspect, the way they played it was very believable, Richard, believable. It's a Disney movie. Come on, about an alien,
right? And aliens, lots of aliens.
Lots of aliens.
Okay,
They
can,
were that
can we
because-
go there? Can we go there? Because in the beginning, we had the whole setup where Stitch he's being created to be a weapon. You have all these characters. So far, so good. I'm liking this. Then they get down to earth. Like suddenly, I felt like I'm watching Roger Rabbit. You had these animated
That's the way it
mixed
was in
in
the
with
animated.
live action, and I could tell. Okay, this is where the budget cuts came in because the CGI characters looked very CGI because they didn't even try to make them look a little bit realistic to blend in. It's like watching Mufasa or Lion King. It's like, are you gonna be animated or live action? Pick a lane. And I don't
know. I thought Stitch was very well CGI'd.
styles, and it just was very distracting.
Well, that's why. Well, I didn't have a problem with it, but I will say when I first heard about this movie, that's exactly why I didn't want them to make this movie, because I was worried about the other aliens. I was like, you did all this wonderful work on Stitch, and yet we have not seen any of the other aliens yet. And so I was really worried about it. But when Jumba and Pleakley were on Earth, I mean, it was only for a little bit that they were on Earth as aliens, but it didn't bother me at all. But the back and forth, but also that's how it was in the original movie. You only saw the galactic aliens at the very first part of the movie, and then when the Galactic Empress and in the animated Gantu's there too, but when they're on Earth, you don't see them ever again. You don't see any of the aliens, so that's why they made the sequels.
Well, and actually, that's why Gantu got cut, is because they couldn't figure out how to make Gantu look good in the real life live action version. He just wasn't working, is what the director said. Gantu just wasn't working. They couldn't figure out how to make him live action.
I mean, he's a whale. His head is a whale. Like, you can't make that work.
Huh.
And I didn't feel like we missed him. Like his
No.
character wasn't
At all,
needed. His
either.
character wasn't really needed in the original either.
No.
But
No, he was just chasing Jamba and Pleakley, who was chasing Stitch.
chasing.
Like, that's all it
We got
was.
these people chasing these people who are chasing this person. So
And they
I feel like
sacrificed
it's
the Gantu time for more of the sister story, which is what the director said. He said that they decided after Gantu wasn't working that they would cut him and use his time that they would cut to Gantu more to build the sister storyline and the Tutu and the David storyline more. So I actually do think that worked.
Okay. Well, Maria is saying that she didn't think there was enough Stitch in this. There could have been more Stitch.
I
Now-
mean, I will take all the Stitch.
Yeah, I mean,
So
they
what do we
did
feel
cut out-
about Stitch in this movie? Like his look, and
I think we needed
how-
less of him because the
Oh.
more time he was on screen, the more destruction he was making. And I
But
just
that's
couldn't
who
do
Stitch
it.
is before he
weapon.
learns to be
And
good.
I
He
know
is
that.
in the mass destruction.
There was
and
a
believe me,
scene-
that's why I wasn't crazy about the animated version. And honestly, if we didn't get tickets through Disney Media, I probably would never have seen this. I put this below Mufasa.
Oh,
Hell no, I didn't even watch them.
I didn't even finish
Screw
Mufasa.
that.
It was below
we haven't
Mufasa.
watched The Lion King yet, much less.
I didn't even
Mufasa.
watch Snow White, so
No, I didn't watch Snow White either.
I liked Snow White much more than this.
I did too.
No.
It was
Much.
musical.
Much more than this.
I will wait for my $13.99 to be put to use on Disney Plus to watch Snow White. That girl made me so pissed off that I did not go and see
Yes,
one
well,
of my favorite
Putting
movies.
all that aside, the off-screen antics and the calamity that she had caused Disney, I'm trying to
No.
watch the movie just as the movie. And,
Right.
And for that
No.
alone,
It's not on Disney Plus yet, so we haven't seen it yet. But yeah.
when you do, you'll be like, "Wow, this is so much better than Lilo and Stitch."
Well, I saw
Yeah.
both. I saw both. And I enjoyed Snow White, but I felt that there were some issues with the plot. I enjoyed Stitch. I did not feel like there were issues with the plot.
Okay, then well, explain this one then. At the very end, the sister goes off to college,
Mhm.
and then a couple of seconds later, we find that there's a portal that can bridge the two together. Like, well,
She
why
took
didn't
a
you
gun.
go onto a plane to go to college when you could have just portaled your way there?
Well, we don't know.
Well,
when she got the
no.
portal gun.
Really
We don't
answer
know when
because
she got
they
the
had
portal
little
gun.
dramatic.
We don't know when she got the portal
mailed
gun.
to her. She couldn't have taken that on the plane.
Maybe
No.
she came back one
She didn't
time and then
need
she
the
smuggled
plane
it
because
again.
she had a portal.
We don't know what time that was that she came back. Like it looked like they were always doing that. That's why she snuck in the middle of the night. Lilo was supposed to be asleep. Like she could have done that tons of times. We don't know that this is the first time that she used the portal gun to get.
Oh,
to
I'm
her.
sure it wasn't. But
She could have gotten that at any time off screen.
And for me, I'm saying for me, it was a sloppy filmmaking because it could have explained, hey, a simple line of, hey, I haven't seen you in 5 months. This will shut Richard up. So therefore,
here's what I think that happened is that
told to you.
well, I think that people got a little. I think maybe in like previews, people got a little mad about her leaving Lilo and them being separated. So they put in a scene where they show you that they are not separated. They always can find their way back to each other. That's what I got out of the scene. And having aliens in your life gives you a bit of an edge because they have technology that you can just portal your way home if you're at college. Not everyone has aliens in their life, so no one can portal their way back, but everybody has, FaceTime and Zoom and things like that. To me, that just means like they are always together, and she didn't leave Lilo. She's still there for Lilo and working on herself and her future.
Right.
Jeff Caffrey got a good point. Anyone see Mission Impossible?
No.
We saw it.
You did?
We did. We saw it today.
Oh, nice. Did you like it?
It did.
It's good.
It was
Intense.
Any portals?
No
but
portals.
CGI, AI, entity. So.
And like 15 minutes of no dialogue.
Oh, wow.
Oh, is it like stunt work?
Yes, it was an action scene, and he's by himself at the time, so there's no one to talk to.
It made half the amount of Lilo and Stitch. So how was the audience? Was it full? Was it half full?
So
the only ones there?
The theater we went to was very small, or the audience was very small, but we chose that because the other two theaters we looked at were completely full.
Yeah.
Oh. So
we had to go to Plan B, Theater B.
Well, I will say when Lilo and Stitch came out, usually we see it in the Dolby Theater at ours, but the Dolby Theater was reserved for Mission Impossible. So that is a bigger theater. We actually saw it in a smaller theater because the bigger theaters were reserved for Mission Impossible.
I think Lilo and Stitch made more money because you could take your kids to it, and it's Memorial Day weekend, and it's family weekend.
Oh, very much so. All right, Token Fanboy waves in on the whole plane issue. She took the plane to arrive like a normal person when going there initially. Ever been on a plane? If you don't have to go on a plane, you don't go on a plane.
I know, man. No plane tickets needed.
Yeah, you land like 3 blocks away and you walk there.
When she was leaving for school, she didn't have a dorm room to magically portal into. So you have to go there like a normal human and get your dorm room, and then you can portal wherever you want.
Okay. I like it. All right, Jeff saw, let's see, Mission Impossible in IMAX. And do you recommend seeing this movie in the theater? I'm assuming yes.
And does Tom Cruise age in this movie?
I thought he looked
never
older.
ages, don't you know that?
I thought he did look older, actually.
Oh,
and I thought he looked older than he did in the movie before this, which is supposed to be a 2-month time difference. And I thought he looked much older. I thought he was getting bags under his eyes and all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
Interesting.
But IMAX theater doesn't hide anything.
Okay. A Token Fanboy once again weighs in with a good point. Mission Impossible is almost an hour longer than Lilo and Stitch.
That's true.
Yeah,
It is a very short movie.
Exactly.
It will. Yeah, I will say that it is short.
That is a very good point.
Yeah, I just wish Lilo and Stitch were a little bit shorter. Maybe 25 minutes.
It wasn't as short as it could be.
What I didn't like about Lilo is she would just like out of the blue just like scream, and I was like, I hate when kids just do that out of the blue, just scream.
Well, in our theater, like when Lilo screamed, all the kids screamed.
Like when like Stitch is in the car and he's acting all bad, and then he like rips, and like Nani's driving, and then all of a sudden like Lilo just screams, and Nani's like, oh, what happened? She's like, that's his name, it's Stitch. And I'm like, oh God, kid, seriously?
Yeah. Don't do that.
Well, clearly you haven't met our neighbor kids from up the hill here. They
Oh,
always sound like they're
we
being
have
weird
kids screaming all the time.
all the time, just screaming.
All
And
the
if one
time.
starts, then the entire neighborhood starts screaming. It's like dogs.
Yes.
Yeah, we've done
Wow.
shows where it's for 30 minutes, kids are just screaming. And later on, the teachers or librarians like, well, why'd you make the kids scream so much? Like, you really gonna blame that on us? Yeah, it's like a domino effect. Once one kid screams, they all scream. And I've got we can be doing anything. We can be up there doing Pulp Fiction with all the cursing, and no one would know because the kids are screaming so loud. And sometimes the two puppets are like, "What are they screaming about? I don't know. Can they hear us? Apparently not." And doing a whole different, commentary on the audience.
Yeah.
And they never hear. Never.
But I will have to say that, like, Stitch, I love Stitch because he's like so ugly that he's cute, and like I was afraid that I wasn't gonna love and Stitch and find him cute and cuddly like I did the animated one, and I really still loved Stitch. I really love that they got the same guy to voice Stitch, and he talked the same and he looked the same, and they really did get the emotions in Stitch's eyes like they did. And when they almost killed Stitch, I was losing my mind.
That doesn't happen in the animated movie.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I'm
had
like,
the
where's
animation
this
director
Steve
Hal
Stitch
Hickel on the
around?
show a while back. He animated Stitch, so let's have him back on and go over the. I thought he was animated very, very well. He just needed an attitude adjustment. And stop calling him a dog, people. I know I've gone over this, but he's clearly not a dog.
Well, plenty of people say, "Are you sure that's a dog?" You hear that a lot.
Yes, but then I go,
Yes.
and they walk away. It's like, no,
They kind of just chalk it up to being a mangy stray, and I'm like, I mean, he's blue, but yeah, okay.
Wait, maybe I should call someone or maybe take a picture and post this. But no one would just go, maybe you're right, and walk away.
But they do kind of accept the fact that they're aliens kind of really quickly, but that's another Disney trope too.
Just accept it and move on.
Except the fact that there's aliens and that he's an alien and that he talks.
Well, I'm glad.
Yeah, he's talking. It's like, hey, he's a dog, apparently.
Yeah.
Maybe dogs here. And I've seen Planet of the Apes. Those
Well,
apes
you do
talk. Why
hear
can't
David
dogs
say
talk?
your
That's
dog
right.
talks. Like David does question it. He goes, "Your dog talks."
Yeah, then they go, for
Yeah.
I'll walk away.
It's Hawaii.
Yeah, the one thing that I would have liked is a little bit more from David. I think in the original animated version, David was more of a presence there for Nani because Nani didn't have anyone else. But because Tutu became more of that support, we lost a little bit of David, which I was like, oh, okay, but I get it because she's 19.
Yeah, I felt in the animated movie it was more Nani and David together working to help Lilo cope and stuff like that, whereas Tutu being the older presence and David kind of living with Tutu, I was like, I would like more of a presence from David helping, because we all know, even in the animated, David had a major crush on Nani, but it felt more like in the animated movie that they actually got together. Whereas this one, we find out like kind of after she leaves for college, and we get that montage of her, coming back and forth, that they actually get together. So I feel like we lost a lot of David.
Bryn is asking, is David good in the live action?
See, that's the thing. David's not much in it. I mean, he is.
He doesn't have much. Yeah,
he's kind of bumbling, but it makes more sense that Tutu's giving that advice. Tutu is the adult, and David is not an adult. I mean, he might be over 18, but he's not the adult in the room. So
he's also pining for Nani, and she's not that interested because she's got her own things to deal with. So that's making him kind of awkward, I felt.
Yeah, but like Bryn says in the chat, I did love David in the original because he was the only one supporting Nani in the journey that Nani was taking. And while we got Tutu supporting Nani in the live action, we lost that support from David. And I didn't really love that because I loved David and Nani in the in the animated version, and I love the fact that at the end they became a family. And it's not really explained what Tutu is to David. Why is David living with Tutu? Like,
I just assume that's his mom.
I mean, I kind of assumed it was his mom or his grandma.
Everybody on the island is auntie and uncle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I was going to say,
yeah.
in the Hawaiian culture, all of the elders are auntie. Tutu is
Oh
auntie.
no, I understand that completely. But
So-
like, why is David living with her? Is she grandma? Is she mom? Is she an older lady that took him in because he needed it? Like, I didn't quite understand that. And then when Lilo goes to live with them and Stitch goes to live with them, I was like, okay, it makes sense in the world that Tutu would help her take care of Lilo while she goes off to college and becomes a marine biologist and stabilizes her life in order for Lilo to come back to her. But it lost a little bit of that relationship with David, and I thought that relationship was really good in the animated one, and I didn't want that to change. There are changes that I really loved. That change I didn't love, but I did love the addition of Tutu. Nani needed that. She needed that wise older lady to go to, but it lost David's character a little bit.
Okay.
I did think it was funny that they all thought that the sister was going to be a Marine.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they were not sure.
Check the box for that humor. And in the end, I'm glad that this movie did extremely well for
Yes.
Disney. They needed a win big time after Snow White, and I'm so glad that this movie is making more money than it ever really should.
And as Jeff says, Ohana means family.
That it does.
And
Yay.
family means that nobody gets left behind or forgotten.
Aw.
Unless they're causing property destruction.
Yeah, there was a scene, Richard, because we had talked a little bit. I knew how you guys felt before we went and saw this. So as soon as we got to this one scene, I thought, ooh, yeah, I know what Richard and Sarah. I know this is the scene right here. This pushed it over the edge, and that was a wedding.
Exactly.
I knew I felt you in the room with me.
Yes.
I pushed you aside so I could enjoy the rest of the movie. But
you know what? I saw the exact same thing. I was like, oh, this right here, this is why they hate it. This is
yes.
My remote control going skip.
Because when I read your guys' little review, I was like, oh, well, I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
You work
Enough
with kids
is enough.
because you know what? Like I worked at Mad Science. I coordinated all those after school programs for kids. I get it. Kids can be bad, and it's hard to work with them. But
yes,
that wedding, yeah, it was that. I was like, oh, that's why.
Yeah.
All right. So should we wrap it up there?
Because we do have some trivia to do.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, we do.
All right.
Well, Bryn is asking in the chat if that we thought that the filmmakers represented the Hawaiian culture authentically, and did that continue with the live action? I believe yes.
Absolutely, 100%.
If not even more, because it was beautifully portrayed live action, and it was actually real Hawaii.
And
Yeah,
like I said, Hawaii,
and our
Hawaii
characters.
is, well,
Representation.
Hawaii is very big in community. So, and I very much felt the sense of community presence in this movie.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. With that, well, thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, everyone, and sharing your thoughts. And we're so glad you're here because it would have been a really boring conversation with just us.
No worries.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
For our parting thought, don't go out and destroy anything.
Yeah, no
Don't
destroy property. Don't destroy property.
I agree with that.
I agree with it too.
All right.
All right, everyone. Take
We'll
care.
see you guys later.
Well,
Bye.
Chat for trivia. All right.
All right. All right. So with that,
All right.
you know what?
Yes.
Let's do this pop culture trivia.
Ooh, okay.
We'll start with some pop
Okay.
culture trivia.
Wait. I want to put the chat. Okay, so now we're going to put the comments back on the screen. And then let's, well, I'll let them do that. So we're going to put the comments on the screen so we can see. So once again, what are they commenting in with their
A, B, C, or D?
A, B, C, or D? Okay. Why does, I'm sorry.
Okay, what do you?
I need less tabs. Sorry. Is it one of these tabs? You have a lot of
Did you?
tabs.
I think you just closed it. All
Okay.
Right, okay. Hold on. All right. So this category is called "What Year Is It?"
Okay.
So we are going to list off a bunch of things that happened in a particular year, and you tell us what year you think it is.
Okay. Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah. So these will be pop culture events or birthdays, or you'll see what's going on, and whatever you think. Okay, this the first
Question one.
The first question. All right. What year gave us the top song, which was "Love Will Keep Us Together" by Captain and Tennille? The sex symbols were Sean Connery, Linda Carter, Warren Beatty, and Adrienne Barbeau, and the biggest film was Jaws. Was it A, 1980, B, 1972, C, 1975, or D, 1976?
Once again, A, 1980, B, 1972, C, 1975, or D, 1976. Okay. So James did not follow directions and instead wrote a year, but Julie comes in with C, 1975. And Jeff also did not follow directions and wrote the year. But those two were correct. So Julie gets it number one. She got it correct. It's 1975, where the sex symbols were Sean Connery and Linda Carter, Warren Beatty.
And Adrienne Barbeau.
Who's Adrienne? Is that a guy or a girl?
That's a woman.
Okay.
She was in Escape
Really?
from New York. She was in Maude. She was in Swamp Thing.
Okay. And the biggest film was Jaws.
Yes, that's why I put it at the very end.
Yes.
So,
A lot of you choosing 76 as well as 75.
all right, just so it's easier to keep track of, put the letter in.
Put the letter.
The A, B,
So
C, or
not
D.
the year.
Yeah.
Put the letter. Even though if you know the year, that's great, but just do the letter when you hear the year.
All right. Number 2. What year gave us
The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King swept the Oscars. The Da Vinci Code spent most of the year at number 1. American Idol was the biggest singing reality show. Was it A, 1999, B, 2001, C, 2000, or D, 2004? Again, A, 1999, B, 2001, C, 2000, or D, 2004? All right. Coming in hot is Julie and James with D. They were nearly neck and neck. So that would be the year 2004. Glenn guesses B. Okay, so what's the answer, Richard?
The answer is D, 2004. Now, I worded this in such a way that Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King swept the Oscars, which means the movie came out the previous year. So most people would have said, oh, 2003. But no, swept the Oscars in 2004.
Right.
And the Da Vinci Code came out in 2003 as well, but spent most of the year at number 1.
And American Idol, of course.
Yes.
Biggest singing reality show in the early 2000s.
Apparently, I didn't fool most of you because y'all guessed 2004. I'm just curious. Was that a guess, or were the clues strong enough that you knew what I was talking about? Let us know in the chat. I try to throw in some wrenches, but not too much of a wrench where it throws everyone off.
Okay.
So let us. Oh, James said I followed your Lord of the Rings Oscar comment. Okay. Julie says I was on the fence.
Okay.
Nice. Okay.
All right. Let me post number 3. question 3.
Caitlin says that she knew the
Okay.
year of Lord of the Rings. I
Yeah.
figured out from that. See, that's why I throw in the wrench, because the year that it comes out and the year that wins Oscars are two different things.
But you didn't put 2003 as one of the options.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so shall we do number 3?
Number 3.
Go ahead.
All right. Apple released the first Macintosh, Footloose. When Doves Cry was the #1 song of the year, and the iconic quote was, "I'll be back." Give you a smattering of things in there.
Was it A, 1983, B, 1984, C, 1990, or D, 1986? Again, A, 1983, B, 1984, C, 1990, or D, 1986? All right. James is saying B, 84. Julie's saying 86. We got the B, A, B, B. Most people guessing B, 84. And that is correct.
That is correct.
Yes.
All right.
1984.
Now, what was it in that one that tipped everyone off?
Macintosh. For me, it was.
See, that would have thrown me, because I wouldn't have known.
Well, 1984, the big famous commercial, the Apple commercial came out in 84. It was talking about 84 as the whole, yeah.
Yeah, James says, Terminator, I'll be back.
Okay.
And see, most people, when we say Terminator, they always think of Terminator 2, which came out in 91. You say Terminator, they always say, because in other pop culture shows, we've said Terminator, and everyone always thinks like Alien. Oh yeah, that was the second one with the
What are you talking about?
I'm just talking about the Alien. A lot of people will confuse the first and second one.
Okay.
And you say Alien, and their mind jumps to Aliens.
Right.
Or Terminator, you say Terminator, and a lot of people will jump to Judgment Day.
Okay. But yes, they're saying what I said. Glenn and Jeff are mentioning the 84 ad for Mac. I mean, that was like the most popular ad of all time, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have said
84 ad.
The fact that Terminator came out in 84.
Okay.
All right.
Well, you're a movies person.
That's true. Number 4.
Oh, hold on.
Oh.
4. Doot.
The birth year of Mr. Beast. Harrison Ford was People Magazine's sexiest man alive, and Britney Spears hit it big with Baby One More Time.
Was it A, 1998, B, 1997, C, 2000, or D, 1999?
Birth year of Mr. Beast. Harrison Ford was People Magazine's sexiest man alive, and Britney Spears hit it big with Baby One More Time. And
all right. Only Julie guessing right now with A.
Caitlin says D, 1999. James says A. Now, James, are you cheating off of Julie?
Oh, yes. Jeff says A as well. Okay.
Jeff says A?
Yes.
And the correct answer is?
A, 1998.
1998.
Okay, who's Mr. Beast?
See, I'm trying to get more topical, more current. And Mr. Beast is like the biggest YouTuber of all time. And he was born in 1998. What the heck? He does all those big stunts.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's always being sued. And he gives out a lot of money.
He's a guy on YouTube.
The guy, yeah, exactly.
That works. I mean, so Julie, did you know that Baby One More Time was 98? Like you seem to know that, because Harrison Ford being People Magazine's sexiest man alive could have been like any of those 90s years.
That's why I put it right in the middle.
Yeah.
To throw everyone off. But then Britney Spears, if you're thinking about it, like, hey, she was more late 90s, but that could be 98, 99.
Yeah. Julie, yes. Okay. Julie knew the song. Mr. Beast does not come up. He's not in your algorithm, James.
And honestly, he doesn't come up in any of my recommendations either. This was like 2 weeks worth of work figuring out these years and trying to be current and going, I don't want to keep doing movie and song for everyone.
Right.
I'm trying to figure out other stuff. This one took a long time.
That's funny.
All right.
And Caitlin, I guess you are the same.
Mostly action figure stuff, says James.
Caitlin was born in 98. That's so cute. All right.
All right, here we go. Number 5.
Kanye West interrupted 17-year-old Taylor Swift's acceptance speech at the MTV Video Music Awards. And this was also the year we lost Michael Jackson and Farrah Fawcett on the same day. Is this A, 2010, B, 2006, C, 2011, or D, 2009? Again, A, 2010, B, 2006, C, 2011, or D, 2009? Okay. All right, we have
Julie says
B,
B. James
C,
says C. Caitlin says D.
D. Jeff
Jeff says
C.
C.
Wow.
Glenn says B. And we only have one winner this round, and that is Caitlin.
Yep.
2009.
Wow. Yeah, I remember that day. That was a big day.
That was a very big day for Michael Jackson. And I feel bad for Farrah Fawcett, who was huge in the 70s, and she got overshadowed. I believe your choices are incorrect.
Oh. Really? Well, no, it had to be in the years that I was at that different job.
Eh?
Okay, what do you think is wrong, Glenn?
I knew how to start with a 2. That's why I didn't put any 1990s.
Taylor's age wouldn't be 17 then. That sounds a little young. Was she only 17?
Apparently. If you can show me where,
I'm
see
curious.
how old she was and what year she was born, which would make it 1992.
92, you think? 89. Oh, she was born in 89, yeah. Because she has an album titled 1989.
So she was 20.
Okay. Well, you got to make sure the day in the year.
Yeah, exactly.
So it might have been
very
21. Yeah, so just be careful.
That's December.
Oh, December. Oh, so Glenn knows.
Yeah.
Okay. And this happened like in
the summertime.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, so she was 20. All right, that's why we beta test these.
Okay, thank you. 19. Because doesn't she turn 20 in that year?
She turns 20. Oh, okay, good point. So she wasn't 17, she wasn't 20, she was 19 in the summer of 2009.
She wasn't 219.
You don't know this. Look at her passport or her birth certificate.
Yes.
Any one of those, or her school records. All right.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yes.
Great. Okay, number 6, right?
Yes.
Number 6. Okay.
Do you want to do this one?
Sure. Okay, number 6. This is the birth year of Adam Sandler, Jon Favreau, Helena Bonham Carter. The Best Picture winner was A Man for All Seasons, and this was the debut of the Monkees. So is it A, 1967, B, 1969, C, 1966, or D, 1970? Wow. A, 1967, B, 1969, C, 1966, or D, 1970? All right, we got some couple A's. Caitlin's guessing C.
Glenn guessed A. Jeff guessed
D.
B.
D
rather. All right. Once again, Caitlin.
Mm-hmm.
Caitlin is supreme in this question here. It was 1966, the debut of the Monkees, and the other stuff too.
Jon Favreau, okay. Adam Sandler, interesting.
And the Best Picture was A Man for All Seasons. I didn't know this was a movie.
No, me either.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was not something I would ever have even thought of.
Mm-mm.
All right, number 7. Lady Gaga wears a dress made of meat at the MTV Video Music Awards, Instagram launches, and Simon Cowell leaves American Idol. Is it 2012? That's A. B, 2010. C, 2015. Or D, 2017? Again,
A, 2012. B, 2010. C, 2015. Or D, 2017? Okay, Julie guessing B right away. Caitlin and Jeff are A. No guess, says Glenn. B also for James. Okay, so James and Julie got it right. It's 2010. There you go. Instagram launches. Interesting. Wow. I know Twitter. I joined Twitter in 2009. So Twitter launched first.
Yeah.
But Instagram was around that time.
All right. Number 8. This is the year that we saw the TV finales that included Dynasty, Family Ties, and Moonlighting. And we saw the series premiere of Seinfeld, Good Morning, Miss Bliss, and Saved by the Bell.
Well, Good
Oh,
Morning,
Good Morning
Miss Bliss.
was-
Good Morning, Miss Bliss was
saved,
reborn
yes,
as Saved by the
so
Bell.
series premiere of Seinfeld and Saved by the Bell was rebranded from Good Morning, Miss Bliss.
Right. So was it A, 1990, B, 1988, C, 1989, or D, 1991? All right, we got some C's, which is 89.
James guesses C.
So does Caitlin.
Mentions
Caitlin
D. She guesses
Glenn
D.
is B.
Glenn says B.
Jeff is C. All right. Well, the C's have it. It is 1989. So what did it? What gave it away? I want to know what everyone's touchstone was for 89.
See, for me, if I haven't been doing this, I would have guessed Seinfeld was like 1991.
Me too. I would have said 91.
And Family Ties, I didn't know that went off the air in 1980, in the 1980s.
Mm.
Oh, Miss Bliss.
Ah, nice, Julie.
Figures.
Awesome.
Zach Morris and Seinfeld. Oh, really?
Seinfeld. Okay, cool. You knew that was 89. I could have sworn it would have been 90s.
Yeah, I don't remember watching that back when I lived in Boston.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I just don't remember the years back then. I was into Saved by the Bell in my middle grade, but I just wasn't a years person like you.
Gotcha.
All right.
All right. Number 9.
All right. Oh, she knew how. Okay, cool. All right.
Number 9. The biggest catchphrases included Shazbot, what you talking about, Willis? Grease was the word. And the biggest non-IP toy was Milton Bradley's Simon.
Whoa.
Was it A, 1978, B, 1979, C, 1976, or D, 1980? Now, I'm not sure who's cheating off of who, Julie off of James or James off of Julie.
Okay.
Or they both just know this stuff.
And Glenn says A as well. Caitlin says B. Grease is the word. Oh, James knows. Okay. So it is A. It is A.
1978.
Oh, Glenn, you must be behind. Maybe refresh your stream. Well, we have one more question, but okay. It is 1978.
1978.
Shazbot.
What are you talking about, Willis?
Shazbot.
What are you talking about, Sarah?
Yeah.
Number 10.
Okay. 10. Here we go. 10. Oops. All right. Last one. Final question. America watched as a white Bronco raced around Los Angeles. The comedy world lost John Candy. On an upside, Beanie Babies mania began. Is this A, 1990, B, 1988, C, 1996, or D, 1994? It's a very wide range.
It is a very wide range.
A, 1990, B, 1988, C, 96, or D, 94?
All right.
All right.
James comes in with 1994, as does Glenn, as does Julie,
Yeah.
as does Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
Waiting for Caitlin to weigh in.
She says
B. All right. Everyone is right except for Caitlin.
Yep.
All right, Caitlin, you get one wrong at one point, okay? It was 1994.
I have my Fox Beanie Baby
Yes, you
from
do.
that year.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
All right. So it looked like everyone guessed that one pretty much right. So what was the clue that tipped that one off?
I would assume white Bronco, but
Yeah.
actually, yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm gonna add this
Oh,
into
boy.
the clues. The year that Julie moved to California. People go like, "Oh, that's too easy."
That's right.
Yeah, the white Bronco would have given it away for me.
Yeah.
All right, so let's review the whole category.
Yes.
Was this easy? Was it hard? Was it fun? Was
Did you
it
like it? Was
middle
it a
of the
good,
road?
good smattering of things? Of
Yeah.
clues? Good job on that research.
Well, thank you very much.
You just made that all up.
I do. And believe me, I struggle with anything after 1988.
I backdated from the verdict. Okay. Oh wow, Jeff, you saw him drive down the 405?
Oh.
Wow.
Hmm.
Okay. Oh, Julie liked this. Well, Julie got a lot right. Good job, Julie. Challenging when I didn't know any of the clues. Yeah. But look, you did spread them out though. That was nice.
Yeah. And
Mr.
when I
Beast.
originally had written this, it was all like 70s and 80s.
Right.
I thought, oh, okay, I gotta do some research on Taylor Swift and Mr. Beast.
You did a good job.
Well, thank you,
Some of
thank
those
you
touchstones.
very much. All right, so
I
you
thought
know,
it was fun too.
yeah,
There was enough choices, like enough different things that people could pick and choose from.
mm-hmm.
So that's a pop culture touchstones.
Yeah, and it was able to do different decades throughout the last 50 years.
Right. Yeah.
All right,
lot.
so should we do a quick Star Wars one? Okay, let's do a quick Star Wars one. There's only a couple here, but let's see what people have for this one.
Okay.
All right. So being Star Wars week, we gotta have a Star Wars trivia question. Glenn says, yeah.
Awesome.
And then Glenn, I know you wanted to come on, but we're running a little long right now, so let's bring you on next week, okay? All right. So this is called Say My Name. Who was the first to say the following character's name? Now, this could be in chronological or release order, and we'll let you know.
Oh.
All right. So this is another one of those that's taken me a long time to put together. So who is the first character to say this other character's name?
Oh boy, in Star Wars.
In Star Wars, yes.
Okay.
All right. Jeff says Palms Boulevard. That's not a guess.
No, he said I got to the Palms Boulevard overpass as they drove under and the news helicopter. Oh wow.
Gotcha.
Wow.
All right. So this one, number one, we're seeking the answer in the chronological order. Episode 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 9. Or this TV shows, okay?
Okay.
Not release order, this is chronological.
Chronological.
Who was the first character to say the name Darth Vader?
Ooh, I think I know.
Was it A, Princess Leia, B, Grand Moff Tarkin, C, Palpatine, or D, Obi-Wan Kenobi?
This is in chronological order of the Star Wars universe. Was it A, Princess Leia, B, Grand Moff Tarkin, C, Palpatine, or D, Obi-Wan Kenobi? And we have a bunch of C's. And that's correct.
That is it. That's correct. Palpatine, but I guess you could go with Sidious as well. But right at that moment, he was Palpatine when all the Jedis came in.
Yes, you're right.
But then at what point did he turn into Sidious? I guess when he puts
the robe on as like when he's Sidious.
All right.
So you can maybe do Palpatine / Sidious, or
I don't know. What does everyone think? What was he Sidious at that moment that he named Darth Vader, or was he Palpatine?
I would say Palpatine, just because throughout the whole series he's Palpatine.
Yeah.
Like that
was a fine line.
Yeah. He was always both.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in these four options, Palpatine. Yeah, Sidious is the Sith Lord.
Sidious. He's always Palpatine. Okay, everyone's saying he's always. So maybe you should just do /Palpatine / Darth Sidious.
Well, that would give it away.
Do you think that would give it away?
If we said Palpatine Sidious, Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah.
But Jeff says Emperor Palpatine, and that's what I was gonna go with, but he wasn't Emperor just yet because he hadn't formed the Empire.
That's right. You know what? It's from a certain point of view.
Yeah.
Everyone has different points of views.
So Caitlin says Palpatine. This is what my theory was. Because at that moment he was still Palpatine, but
Right, he's not emperor yet. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's later. First Galactic
Okay.
Empire.
Glenn says Palpatine is better for an answer. So
Semantics.
yeah, so I think, but you know how fans are when you don't get something right, but yeah, a big. So I just
As
want
long
to
as
make
you
sure.
have something to back it up.
Yeah, so it's up for debate, but I'm gonna go with Palpatine. All
Okay.
right, number 2, and this will be in release order. Release order. Sarah?
Of the movies and
Of the movies and TV show. So when we say
Oh, boy.
release order, that means movies and TV shows.
Okay. All right. So, who is the first character to say Cassian Andor?
They didn't yawn before they said
I know.
it. They were more enthusiastic.
Is
Who was the first character?
it A, Jyn Erso, B, Mon Mothma, C, K2SO, or D, Luthen Rael? This is release order.
The
Okay.
first person to say, yeah, Cassian Andor.
Shut up.
We should put in.
A, Jyn Erso, B, Mon Mothma, C, K2SO, D, Luthen Rael.
And the winner is
Jeff.
Jeff Caffrey.
Yep.
Jeff Caffrey comes in with Mon Mothma because it was her in Rogue One who introduces Cassian Andor to Jyn Erso.
Ah.
Yes.
Captain Cassian Andor, Rebel Intelligence. That little soft accent she has.
Yeah. So Jeff, I gotta ask, what did
Were
you
you
just
guessing?
guessing? Because that one was hard. But if you really think about it, release order, that would have been Rogue One.
Definitely.
And
Rogue
where
One.
did we first see Cassian Andor? But in that briefing room, and who introduced him but Mon Mothma?
That was a lot to go through.
It was a lot to go through, but you know, some of these are hard, some of these are easy.
Mhm.
Okay, so Jeff, let us know. But in the meantime, we're gonna go on to number 3.
Yes.
All right, this will be in release order.
Okay. So films in release order. So who says Yoda first? Is it A, Obi-Wan Kenobi, B, Luke Skywalker, C, Mace Windu, or D, Qui-Gon Jinn? Is it A, Obi-Wan Kenobi, B, Luke Skywalker, C, Mace Windu, or D, Qui-Gon Jinn? In release order. Okay. Oh, everyone's guessing A.
Everyone is guessing A.
Everyone is correct.
Everyone is correct.
Yay. Wow.
And when does Obi-Wan Kenobi say it?
Is it in Empire Strikes Back?
The Empire Strikes Back.
The vision?
Yes. Luke, you will go to the Dagobah system. There you will learn from Yoda, the Jedi Master who instructed me.
Yes.
All right.
Very good, everyone.
Mm.
Oh, so wait, Jeff answered. I figured it was Rogue One, so Mon made sense. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So you did the
Okay.
I like it.
He thought it through.
Yes. Okay, now
All right.
number 4.
Number 4, and this is chronological, not release, but chronological.
Okay.
Who was the first character to say Grogu?
Is it A, Luke Skywalker, B, Din Djarin, C, Moff Gideon, or D, Ahsoka Tano? Is it A, Luke Skywalker, B, Din Djarin, C, Moff Gideon, or D, Ahsoka Tano? I would have known this one.
And
Everyone
everyone is
knows
guessing D.
Ahsoka.
Now, this is chronological, not release.
Right, but still, it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, I was like,
it's one and the same.
It doesn't matter. Okay. I was like, I remember Ahsoka said his name, and we were like, what?
Oh, yeah. And I remember instantly liking the name Grogu.
I remember being like, what the fuck? Oh, excuse me.
All right, Sarah's going to go into the
It's
Sarah
after
Squares
hours.
timeout.
It's after hours. This is Skywalking.
Oh, wait, hold on. Oh,
Oh, ooh.
Glenn said,
You should make Keller and Beck a choice.
huh.
Interesting.
And now, but who would you take out?
Well,
Luke Skywalker and Grogu. Like, okay,
Yeah.
your mind would go there.
But Din didn't
Djarin.
know.
Din Djarin would make it. But if you're in the moment,
Yeah.
which one would trip you up? Moff Gideon in the cell.
Yeah, because Moff Gideon seems to know a lot about
Yes.
Grogu.
All right, so we will make that into a consideration.
Hmm.
All right.
All right, bye, Glenn. He's walking the dog.
Oh. All right.
right.
Number 5.
Oh, okay. 5. I still call Grogu Baby Yoda sometimes.
Well, you know what? It's not your fault. It's Disney's fault.
I know.
When they had said, was it Jon Favreau who said, we knew the name of Grogu in season 1.
So say it in season 1 early, so we call him that, and not Baby Yoda for 2 years.
Yeah,
right.
that's on you.
That's like Galaxy's Edge and
Yeah,
Star Wars
Star
Land.
Wars Land. People still call it Star Wars Land.
I call it Star Wars Land. Sometimes I'm like, Star Wars Land.
That's unacceptable. But
2.
then again, they didn't know what the name was back then.
Yeah.
So that's on you. Moving right along. All right. The Emperor. In release order, who said the Emperor first? Was it Darth Vader, Grand Moff Tarkin?
A, B.
Oh, A, Darth Vader, B, Grand Moff Tarkin, C, Yoda, or D, Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Ben. But 2 all yes. Okay, so we got, so who says the Emperor first in release order? People are saying B.
Wow.
The Emperor.
You're,
the Emperor.
You're all correct.
Yes, very good.
This one, I thought was going to trip everyone up.
The Emperor has dissolved the council permanently.
Exactly, yes.
Yes.
You
You can't forget his voice.
But
though.
there's so much exposition in that scene.
There is, yeah.
You figure it would get lost.
Yeah.
So you would figure, oh, it's okay. In the moment, it's going to be either Darth Vader or Ben Kenobi.
I would
but
think
Ben
Darth-
calls him Darth.
I would say I would get tripped up with Darth Vader. I would be either, it's one of the Imperials.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Everyone. Okay. Jeff says A. Jeff thought it was Darth Vader.
Only Caitlin was. Wait, what did she say?
Who?
Oh, Caitlin got it. Okay. Oh, Jeff. Jeff was wrong. Sorry, Jeff.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'm with you.
And Julie guessed Batu. Okay. Not an option, but we can give it to you because it's your birthday eve. All right. 6 chronologically.
Okay.
Looking for chronologically.
All right. Who says BB-8 first chronologically? Is it A, Rey, B, Kylo Ren, C, Poe Dameron, or D, Finn? A, Rey, B, Kylo Ren, C, Poe Dameron, D, Finn.
And
We have a Rey guess. We have a
James
Poe.
says Rey.
Caitlin says Poe.
Caitlin says Poe. Julie says Poe.
Jeff says Poe.
Jeff says Poe. And the Poes have it.
The pose.
Now, when I wrote this question out, I figured it was going to be Rey.
Right.
And she finds him in the desert.
Right.
But when the first order is attacking the Jakku village,
Right. Yeah.
Poe yells out, "Come on, BB-8, hurry!"
Yeah.
But it's so buried in all the music and the sound effects.
But he is technically Poe's droid.
Yes.
But
So
yeah.
So is that how everyone got Poe? Is because
First scene.
BB-8 is Poe's droid?
Who's gonna talk first? You talk first? I talk first?
Funniest line.
I know. Really cuts the tension.
Yeah. So I would have failed miserably at that one.
Mm.
So yeah, yes, Poe's droid. Okay. All right. Julie says she rationalized out it.
Right.
What? She
Rationalized it.
She rationalized it. Yes. All right. Number 7. Chronologically.
Yeah.
All right, gotta go back to chronologically. Who was the first person to say Ahsoka Tano?
Is it A, Anakin Skywalker, B, Ahsoka Tano, C, Yoda, or D, Captain Rex?
Chronologically.
Who says Ahsoka Tano first? A, Anakin Skywalker, B, Ahsoka Tano, C, Yoda, or D, Captain Rex? People are guessing Yoda or
Everyone's guessing.
Anakin.
Julie guessed Anakin. And Caitlin says Yoda. Jeff says Anakin. And the winner is nobody. Well, you're all winners.
Yes.
However, Ahsoka introduces herself and says, "I'm the new Padawan learner. I'm Ahsoka Tano."
That's a nice one.
Yeah.
I like that.
See, I would have figured that would have been Captain Rex.
Mm. I would have figured Yoda because he's the one
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
introducing.
Yeah, when she gets there. Now, Yoda did say Ahsoka.
Okay.
In the transmission, he said, something to the effect, I'm sending you a new Padawan learner, Ahsoka.
Oh.
He never says Ahsoka Tano.
Ah.
She's the first one to say Ahsoka Tano.
Okay.
I like that one.
It is a little bit of a trick question, but in a way you can
rationalize
say.
it.
Yeah.
All right. In release order, who's the first one to say Boba Fett?
Oh. Is it A, Darth Vader, B, Ton Wei, C, Jabba the Hutt, or D, Han Solo? In release order, who says Boba Fett first? A, Darth Vader, B, Ton Wei, C, Jabba the Hutt, or D, Han Solo?
Yeah, we didn't put the number into the thing, so I think.
Yeah, it's after Caitlin says
Okay.
trick question.
Okay. So this was a softball. You got to put some softballs in there.
Oh yeah.
Everyone is guessing D, Han Solo. Boba Fett, where?
Very good. Classic line.
All right. Number 9.
All right. Who says, in release order, who says Thrawn? Is it A, Grand Moff Tarkin, B, Emperor Palpatine, C, Agent Kallus, or D, Morgan Elsbeth? In release order, is it A, Grand Moff Tarkin, B, Emperor Palpatine, C, Agent Kallus, or D, Morgan Elsbeth?
So far, the C's have it with Agent Kallus.
Okay.
Says the Gildersleeveses.
Jeff says D, Morgan Elsbeth. Okay. But release order, Thrawn comes in Rebels.
Thrawn comes in Rebels.
So
in 2016, there's the episode Steps into Shadow, where Grand Moff Tarkin introduces Thrawn.
Wow. That's hard.
Yeah, there's Kallus was there in the scene, but it was Grand Moff Tarkin who says, "May I introduce Grand Admiral Thrawn?" How do you roll that R? Thrawn. Maybe if we put that in there.
Jeff, D would probably be correct if we're only doing live action, right?
Yes.
Morgan Elsbeth.
Julie knew it was Rebels.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, so that's why they guess Agent Kallus. Nice.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
Oh.
I went with the most Rebels of the choices. Nice. Okay.
Oh, who said that?
James.
Julie and James.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
I thought
that's a hard one.
I tried to trip everyone up with Morgan Elsbeth. I think who did I get? I got Jeff with that one.
Yeah, you did. No, that Morgan Elsbeth is a good trip up.
Okay.
Okay.
Made sense for Rebels. Yes. All right. Finally, we have number 10. In chronological order, who's the first one to say Hondo Anaka?
Oh. Is it A, Anakin Skywalker, B, Count Dooku, C, the newsreel narrator, or D, a Weequay pirate general? Is it A, Anakin Skywalker, B, Count Dooku, C, the Clone Wars newsreel narrator, or D, a Weequay pirate general? Who says Hondo Anaka? All right. Oh yeah, see, Jeff forgot about the animation. Yeah. Okay, so we've got some.
I think Julie comes in first.
Yeah.
With C. Caitlin, which is in the Clone Wars newsreel narrator.
Yeah.
And Caitlin says
A, Anakin Skywalker. All the rest say C.
C. And it is right. It was. His first name was first mentioned in the episode The Gungan General, and it was the Tom Kane Clone Wars newsreel narrator.
And Jeff said C because I love Tom Kane. Aww.
Don't we all?
Yeah. Did you guys guess? It was such a random choice. Yeah. That is a fun.
This was a hard one too.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I bet.
It was.
Did you have to watch some shows?
Yes, I did. Because there's another episode before this one called like the Pirates or something to that effect. So I'm scrubbing through the whole show. And it's like nothing. And they don't mention it until they do the recap in the next episode.
And the narrator says
And
it.
the newsreel narrator
He
says
doesn't
it.
ever say like
No.
the full name.
No, because in the previous episode, Anakin and Obi-Wan keep asking him his name. He never says it.
Ah, that's funny.
Yeah. It's like, oh, it's gotta be in here somewhere. All right. So that wraps up this one. Yes, Jeff says lots of stuff does get introduced in those recaps.
Yeah.
All right. So what do we feel about this one here? I was kind of debating about doing this one tonight or not, but it's Star Wars week.
Yeah.
Last week of Star Wars month. So how do we feel about this category here?
I liked that one. I thought it was a little difficult going between chronological and release order.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if you should put them all like 5 release order, 5 chronological.
I did that, but I thought mixing it up, it put you more on edge.
It was hard. You really got to think. Bend your brain.
That's the point of it.
Yeah. So maybe don't do this as the first category out anything.
Yeah, this is one of those.
Yeah.
Okay, once everyone gets settled in,
yes.
Now you release this.
Okay. All right, so people are really liking this one.
Good. Okay. This was fun, says Caitlin.
Hard to think it through. Tougher category. Yeah, so that's why I don't think you should start with it.
Right.
Yeah. See, it was hard going back and forth. Yeah. That's my only caveat.
Yeah, and I did want to do just release order, but then I wanted to try to shake things up by doing it both.
Okay.
Now, should we do it and just 5 release, 5 trial? I don't like that.
Well, I mean, I think it worked okay just because you're jumping around between either prequels or there's like Clone Wars stuff, or you're jumping around between different times already.
Yeah.
So it's almost like it doesn't matter.
Right. And this is certainly one of those ones where you just do at certain events.
Yeah.
When it was like hardcore Star Wars.
Right. Maybe it would be good to have a touchstone on screen, like this is chronological, or like have that as a picture so people can have a touchstone to look at and be like, okay, chronological. Just for me, like I'm a visual person. Right. I would like to see that.
But now the Hondo Anako one.
What about it?
Oh, you mean for the character?
No, just in general. Like if this is a release order question, have the words release order on the screen.
Okay.
Just so it's one less thing for someone to have in their head. I don't know. Yeah, see, Julie would group it.
And
yes.
Glenn says, you're still going?
Yes, we're almost done, Glenn.
All right. Julie says they group them chronologically. That's another way to go, but I was just trying to put people more on edge to what's going to be the next one. If they try to guess ahead of time, then they might already know or have a good idea. So I'm trying to put people on edge.
Okay. I think it depends on your audience.
Very much so. Yeah. So once again, I wouldn't do this at like WonderCon.
Yeah, but so I think putting something on screen would help.
The character and release.
Yeah, that would probably be good. Just so people can have that, like they don't have to be thinking this all in their heads.
All right. I'll make a note of that.
Okay.
All right. So there you have it, everyone. Two trivia categories. Ooh. And we got through Lilo and Stitch.
That's right. So happy Memorial Day weekend, everyone.
Although at the very, very end, hope everyone had a great weekend.
Yeah.
We went to a raging party last night.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. There was a murder.
Yes.
It was crazy.
And right now I'm very much tasting spam. I need more spam in my life.
Yeah, Richard wants me to make that now. So you have to tell me.
If anyone has not had the combination of
spam musubi.
Spam, rice, and seaweed, you don't know what you're missing.
Yeah, spam musubi. Yeah. Okay. And then Jeff, I have a question for you. It's a technical question about StreamYard. So I'll interface with you after.
Yes. And Caitlin, we're going to pick your brain about anime trivia. Because we could be doing a trivia panel at the end of July. We don't know this yet.
Near the end of July.
Yes. Glenn says Moff Gideon wouldn't know the name Grogu. But in the moment, you might think, oh, wait, he had a scene with Grogu. Would he be the one?
Right. And he was like expounding about Grogu.
Yeah. All right. So,
a lot.
Caitlin is down for that. Yeah. I was going to talk to you last night, but we're in the middle of solving a mystery. that cricket woman went down.
Yes. All right, guys.
All
Amazing
right.
weekend.
Thank you so much,
Happy-
everyone.
Happy early birthday, Julie.
Happy birthday.
Woo! All right. We will see everyone later.
And Glenn, next week we'll have you come on to bring on what you want to bring on this week.
Yes.
We'll bring that on next week on
Things
Things We Want to Share.
Things we want to share. Things we want to share.